Okay, for measuring this out, I actually put this on, basically put it around my waist, went into the mirror to see about right where it should hang, and then made a mark with my nail where approximately I want to put my buckle in. Okay, and I'm going to go up a little bit from that just to give a little bit more room. Especially because we have to take into account that this has to fold over like we did the trigger snaps. So that's going to be there's a midpoint in here, so it'll probably be between here and there. Okay, this is where it's comfortable, and then of course the other side will be a little bit longer for adjustment, so I can adjust, I can use the holes that we'll make on the other one to adjust this. So there's will be a definitive left one and a definitive right one. Okay, assuming that the left one will be where the buckle will be, and the right one will be where it fits into, or vice versa, however you choose to wear it. I know there is a way buttons and snaps go, women versus men, so on and so forth. However you do it, I'm not going to get into all that, but there you go. I'm going to measure this out for you real quickly, just so I have some measurements for you if you want to try this. So I'll be right back. Okay, we've attached our buckle in the same manner as we did the trigger snaps. Okay, and dissimilar to the belt that I showed you before, I didn't add the belt keeper underneath this. I wanted to make sure I give myself enough length, because I really didn't accurately measure this, so I want to have some margin of error, some room for error. And again, for those people that are fastidious like that, and that's okay if you are, you want exact measurements, or you measure in your body, then measure twice, cut once is always the rule, right? So for a belt keeper, this is why it is good to keep your scraps around, right? So I have a piece here that I'm going to trim that should be good enough to fit around here and make a belt keeper. And I don't need to use two rivets. I'm just going to use one, and because it's not going to swivel because of just the way, because of physics, it's not going to swivel. So I'm gonna thin this down, and then I'm gonna attach this, and I want to attach two, I believe, and we'll see. We'll see how the other side works out. If I need to attach two, then I can. So we'll just deal with one, but I don't need it this wide. All right, so this is about how it's gonna look. I'm gonna punch a hole in here and drive a rivet through there, and it's gonna, I'm eyeballing it. It should look somewhat equidistant, so it looks pretty uniform. Again, it's going to be behind. I'm not really that concerned about that. But I'll need two of these. I may need another one, so I'm just going to get some measurements right quick, just so I know for the size of belt, because some belts may be wider or thinner. And this is approximately 4.5 inches long, so keep that in mind. And cut another strap, essentially about the same width and length. So yeah, so we're gonna do this. Just put that there. I'm gonna put this here like that. Give it a little play, just a little bit, not much. And then I can take my hole punch. Make sure things are aligned properly. Sometimes inanimate objects don't like to cooperate. That's alright, I'll make it work. Alright, so I'm eyeballing, make sure everything is in alignment, and then I'm punch through. Hold everything in place, release it from the punch. Grab a rivet here. I'm going to find my hole and stick the rivet through that. Once I do that, yikes, inanimate objects again. And that's fine. If it's not going to be quick about it, that's fine. Because sometimes the hole punch doesn't always punch through, but we've got 3 holes in the belt keeper here, and then just make sure that it lines up, everything lines up. So actually I made a mistake. We do not want a hole in here, so let's do this again now that we have the measurements, and I'll be back when I'm done. So I made two of these belt catchers, and first we're going to insert the rivet, and then, because we only need 2 holes on our catcher, not 3, that was a mistake. So now we can align the holes onto the holes on the catchers onto the rivet. And this leather kind of stretches a bit. It has a little bit of a stretch to it, so that's fine. You know, just make sure everything is aligned up. Yep, and then we do our stamping. Same thing as before. Okay, so that's in there, and you can't really see the other rivet from the other side, like that. Okay, so really simple. I just made a mistake with it. Now, according to our model on the belt, there seems to be 2 attached to it. I'm gonna make a judgment call and say that I don't need 2. I think 2 looks cool from an aesthetic standpoint, so I may do it just because of the cool factor, but it may not be necessary. Okay, so I have my other side of the belt that doesn't have the buckle on it, and again, we're gonna have to trim it down so that it can fit. We're gonna have to trim it down so that it can fit inside of the buckle here, and we're gonna have to make holes in it as well. But before I do that, I'm going to use an English point stamp here that I bought many years ago, just in case I needed to make belts. You probably can't see it black against black there, but this is what it looks like. Okay, so I've got my cutting board and an extra piece of leather, my scrap piece of leather, and I'm going to lay this down. I've already wet the belt a little bit to make cutting easier, and then I just want to take this on here and just cut a nice point. I could certainly use my scissors or something, or I don't even have to do that as long as this fits into the buckle, but I don't know, I'm gonna be fancy today, so just give it some taps. Make sure it goes through. Okay, there we go. So yeah, and I actually went through and cut everything, but I wasn't quite sure if it's going to release. So that's what that looks like. Hope the neighbors downstairs aren't too upset. So they're always doing construction in this apartment building anyway, so I shouldn't be too surprised somebody's banging. So anyways, this is what the end is looking like that. So I want to release it, so I'm gonna trim this down anyways considerably. But we have a nice little quote-unquote English point tip for our belt, so it can slide into the buckle, or start to slide into the buckle, but it's not going to fit, so I have to take off some edge, the ends of the edges a ways down. So I'm going to go, this piece here is approximately 26 inches long from the base of the trigger snap, so I'm going to go in, we'll say, I'm going to go in about 9 inches or so. So, heck, we'll make it an even 10. Let's just make it even numbers. I'll go 10 here. So that's a long way to cut. Again, I'm just going to use my nail to mark it about where to begin. And then we'll do that. But, yeah, we'll do that and then we'll add our holes. Because, yeah, that'll be a little bit more easier. It's more aesthetic. So just like before, I'm going to thin it down. I'll see you when I get back. Alright, so we thinned this down a bit, kind of tapered it. Yeah, I'll take some sandpaper and kind of smooth things out, the silhouette out. But this is going to fit through there like that. Fits in nicely. And then it'll go through the loop like that. And if I need to make more adjustments, I can do so. So it should fit like that. But we got to make the holes, right? So, and yeah, we'll see how this fits. And then just for cool purposes, I may add another belt keeper just because it looks cool. So, not necessary, but it looks cool. So I'm going to eyeball this, but you can use a ruler to find the exact middle and then just, you know, space out where you're going to put your holes. I'm eyeballing it, I'm sorry. Just don't want to take the time to do so. Again, this is a piece for me, not a commercial piece. If that was the case, then I'd probably just, first of all, I'd make a pattern so I wouldn't have to measure every time. And everything would be just really more accurate that way. So I'm just kind of fixing the tip there. Oh, I'll come back to this anyways. So I'm gonna use my my ruler because I do want these equidistant apart, and I'm gonna go in about, I'd say about an inch in or so before I start making my first kind of mark there. Yeah. And then let's see. I'll just probably do an inch down. I'll do 5 of these. Do an inch down approximately. I'm not being really exact, but just an inch down. That's 1, 2, 3. So heck, I may even just go all the way down the length of the stripped part, the thinned part. So not a set number per se. I said 5, but changed my mind. All right, approximately an inch down each one. That. This one looks a little off, so I'm just gonna go right there. That's proper. All right, and again, you know the drill by now. I'm gonna take my hole punch and punch away. Alright, so that's about it as far as the belt is concerned. So we'll put this in there. Again, I highly doubt, at least with my girth, that I'll need to just put one in, but just in case, right? So the hole, I'm just checking to make sure the holes fit the tongue, and then voila, there is our belt, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the Sporran and look in the mirror and make sure that everything looks, you know, fits right, feels right. And like I said, I may add a second one as well, second belt keeper as well.